I read last night out of the San Diego Union Tribune that Tom Krasovich, I think is that's how you say his name, he wrote this article about Fernando Tatis Jr. and saying that first base should be where Fernando Tatis Jr. plays in 2023. And he went through this article, or as I was reading it, there were all these like explanations and the shift, and he's athletic and he can learn from like Derek Lee and enlist Derek Lee to help this guy with the nuances and just how to play the position. And you have Ha-Sung Kim at shortstop, a great defensive shortstop. Don't burden Fernando Tatis Jr. with having to go replace Ha-Sung Kim and play great defensive shortstop. Kim's liked by the fans. It was just stupid. I think it was idiotic. But he said, Tom Krasovich, however you say his name, says first base would be less hazardous than shortstop. First base is pretty darn hazardous, I think. I mean, picking plays, being around the bag, especially when you're not familiar with the position. The pick plays, like I just mentioned, do you know how many throws that first basemen have to like go into the splits? Remember in 2019, Tatis had that hamstring injury when he tried to be like a first baseman against the Nationals at Nats Park, receiving that ball, receiving the throw at second base. So he could get hurt there too. And playing a position that he isn't familiar with, you would think that would increase the likelihood of him getting hurt, right? Not knowing his limits. With the elimination of the shift, maybe he dives for balls at first base that he thinks he can get to, or he's worried about getting through the hole. That maybe it's just better to let Cronenworth take it at second base. Like, this guy has never played first base. So, and like this guy, this writer to act like it'll be a burden for Tatis to play shortstop. A position, by the way, that he's played his entire life. Yeah, it's a burden. Don't give Tatis this burden to replace Ha-Sung Kim. It's like acting like Tatis has never played shortstop before, or acting like this guy isn't the most athletic guy on the team and one of the most athletic guys in baseball. One of the best players on the planet. In my opinion, the best shortstop on earth when he's healthy. Did you not watch 2021, Tom Krasovich? So the don't burn Tatis thing didn't make sense. And then at the beginning of the article, it's on the Union Tribune. You can look at it if you want to. He says, just slide the kid over there. Yeah, just slide the kid over there. Like it's no big deal. Just slide him from shortstop to first base. Not a big deal. He's never played the position before, but just slide the kid over there. Whatever. Who cares? Not a big deal. He can play first base. I'm sure he'll be able to play it, but we got to remember, this guy's coming off of wrist surgery, shoulder surgery, the suspension. Like, there's a lot of things that he's coming off of here. You think you'd want him to be in a position or play a position that he's played his entire life, or at least put him in a position that he's played in the big leagues before, or put him in a position that closer resembles playing shortstop, like second base, like first base, maybe catcher. But those are like the last two positions I would say, let's just slide the kid over to this position. You either put him at shortstop, the outfield, or second base. I think the options are shortstop and the outfield. Now, I'm not including DH. I think he will DH some games. But you put him at the position that he's played his whole life, or you put him in the outfield, the positions that he's played in the big leagues before. Putting him at first base, just slide the kid over there. First base is not that easy. I mean, I'm just sitting here saying this. It's easier me saying this. But I'm sure if we went and asked guys that have played first base in the big leagues, is first base an easy position to play? They'd probably say no. It's harder than it looks. So it just doesn't, it's just a stupid idea putting him at first base. Sure, you can say, oh, maybe it makes sense, the range, the banning of the shift. You know what makes more sense? How about sliding Jake Cronenworth over to first base? A guy that made it and played the All-Star game in Colorado. He played first base in that All-Star game. He's familiar playing first base. He has worn the first base glove before. Fernando's never done that. Why would you put a guy that has never played the position at first base? How about you put the guy that has played the position there if you're going to put a new guy there at first base and not bring in a first baseman? By the way, there's reports out that the Padres have Jose Abreu as a top priority. So why would they think about sliding Tatis over to first base over Cronenworth, who's played the position before, and over bringing in a guy like Jose Abreu, who's played first base his whole career? He hit over 300 last year. Doesn't that sound like the better option? Or how about Josh Bell or Brandon Drury, who have played first base? Heck, how about Will Myers, a guy who has played first base and looked even more comfortable playing first base than the outfield this past season? I know he's a free agent too, but I'd rather have Myers at first base than Fernando. Let's put the most athletic guy on the field. Let's put him at first base. That makes sense. Like, come on. It doesn't. I could go on and on about this and this guy's opinion in this article. Enlist Derek Lee to teach Tatis about footwork and the nuances of playing first base. This was written in the article. Like, what? Let's enlist Derek Lee. Why would you do that? Like, okay, Derek Lee, sure. Did he won a few Gold Gloves, I guess. I think that's what he did. Again, it's acting like first base is so easy. It's so easy to play. Just enlist Derek Lee at first. Enlist him to come help Tatis play first base. It's just idiotic. It sounds like an idiotic even thing to think about. Over maybe Tatis playing catcher. That's the most idiotic thing. Pitching maybe, but Tatis has a cannon. But like right field sounds better. He's played there before. Center field sounds better. He's played there before. Left field sounds better. He can adjust to playing left field. Second base sounds better. It's much easier to adjust from shortstop to second base than it is from shortstop to first base. Shortstop sounds better. The position that he's been playing his whole life. I'm open to having Tatis go play the outfield, putting him in right. He has range, can cover a lot of ground there, putting Soto in left, Grisham in center. I'm open to that if you want Kim to be at shortstop. If you think Ha-Sung Kim deserves starting at shortstop over Fernando, this is what this guy's opinion is too. Okay. You don't put Tatis at first, though. You put him in the outfield. You put Cronenworth at first and put Tatis at second. If you don't bring in Abreu, Bell, Drury, Myers, anyone, Seth Brown is a trade option or something, This first base, that's just stupid. It's just stupid.